Sometimes, life's biggest miracles walk into your world when you least expect them. One single father, broken by struggles, was only fighting to survive with his little boy. One woman, carrying her own scars, only wanted to earn a day's wage by cleaning houses. But fate had other plans. Because when she walked into that modest home with his daughter's hand in hers, the boy pointed with wide eyes and whispered words that would change everything. "Daddy, look, it's her." What could a child possibly see, that even adults are blind to? Stay with me, because this story will melt your heart. David was a single father in his early 30s. Life had not been kind to him. His wife had left when their little boy, Ethan, was just 2 years old. Since then, David's world revolved around working odd jobs, construction by day, delivery at night, and everything in between. His body carried scars of exhaustion, but his heart carried a deeper pain, the fear of failing his son. Ethan was 7 now. Bright, curious, and tender. But like any child, he longed for warmth, love, and laughter. David tried to give him all he could, but some days even food on the table was a struggle. On the other side of town, there was Anna. A quiet, hard-working woman in her late 20s who cleaned homes to support her younger sister, Lily. Their parents had died years back, leaving Anna with the burden of raising a teenager. She rarely spoke of her own dreams, those had long been buried under rent bills and the sting of survival. Fate's strings pulled them together on a rainy morning. Anna had taken an extra cleaning job in a small neighborhood, David's house. She arrived with Lily, who refused to stay home alone. When the door opened, Ethan's little eyes lit up. He stared at Anna for a long time, as if seeing something familiar in her face. Then, in the innocence only a child holds, he tugged his father's shirt and whispered. "Daddy, look, it's her." David frowned. "It's who, son?" "The one I told you about," Ethan said, his eyes glowing. "The lady in my dream. She was holding my hand and smiling." Anna froze, confused. Dreams? Destiny? She brushed it off with a nervous smile and began her work. But David couldn't shake the strange weight of his son's words. That day, while Anna scrubbed floors and Lily helped Ethan with homework, the house felt different. Lighter. Almost like a home again. For the first time in months, David came home from his shift to laughter filling the living room. He paused at the door, his tired heart aching with something he hadn't felt in years, hope. But he quickly buried the feeling. He couldn't afford to dream. Not when reality was so cruel. Days turned into weeks, and Anna kept coming back to clean. Slowly, without meaning to, she became part of their little world. Ethan adored her, he would wait by the window, rushing to the door the moment she arrived. And Lily? She was like the sister he never had, teaching him silly songs, helping with homework, and sometimes sneaking him candy when David wasn't looking. David noticed. He noticed everything. How Ethan smiled brighter. How the house felt less empty. How Anna always carried warmth, even when her own eyes seemed tired from battles she never spoke of. Yet, he also carried guilt. "She's just here to work," he would remind himself. "Don't read into it. Don't hope." But hope has a way of sneaking in through the cracks of broken hearts. One evening, Ethan fell sick. Fever burned his small body, and David panicked. He had no family nearby, no one to lean on. He called Anna by instinct. She rushed over without hesitation, bringing medicine, soup, and the comfort only a woman's presence could bring. All night, she sat by Ethan's bed, gently pressing a cool cloth to his forehead, whispering stories until he fell asleep. David watched silently from the doorway, emotion swelling in his chest. When Ethan stirred and whispered weakly, "Don't go, please stay," Anna smiled and held his hand. "I'm not going anywhere." And that's when David realized, his son wasn't wrong. Ethan had seen something long before he could admit it to himself. This woman wasn't just a cleaner. She was the missing piece. But just when hearts were starting to heal, life tested them. Anna's landlord threatened to evict her and Lily. Bills were piling. She considered leaving town for better work, even if it meant tearing away from the small family she'd found comfort in. When David learned this, his heart sank. For years he had carried his battles alone, never asking for help, never showing weakness. But now, for the first time, he spoke with trembling honesty. "You've given my boy something I couldn't give him. Laughter. Security. Love. If you go, I don't know what will happen to him. To us." His voice broke. "Stay. Not as a worker, but as family." Anna's eyes filled with tears. She had been seen, not as just the woman scrubbing floors, but as the woman who mattered. That night, Ethan woke up, still weak, and looked at them holding hands. With a sleepy smile, he whispered the same words as before. "Daddy, look, it's her." This time, David didn't correct him. He simply pulled Anna closer, realizing his son had known all along. Love doesn't always come riding on roses and fairy tales. Sometimes, it comes quietly, through the kindness of a stranger, the laughter of children, and the healing of broken hearts. Anna didn't just clean David's house, she cleaned the loneliness out of their lives. And sometimes, children see the truth before we do.